I just hit print, and this is going to be a ramble video. Probably an hour or two long. And it's going to be the recap video for my Apologies Anyone tag, where I'm just going to address things that people wrote, because I think that there were some pretty strong entries that, you know, people just don't want to add anything else because they saw a couple questions and stuff brought up, and they're like, well, nothing I can say can top that. So I think it's just, you know, it's tapered off all the way. Forgive the printer sounds. Let me warm up with a Mountain Dew. Okay. I guess I'm going in reverse order because I just cut and pasted from the comments page for that video, so I don't want to read backwards. And here we go. The Vizinos says, AOD, explanations are always good. Apologies almost never are. Because no one who feels entitled to one will ever forgive you for being you. One suggestion. Religions are not all the same. Some are toxic, some are transforming. Most fall somewhere in between. Usually when a religion is toxic, it's because the individual believer makes it so. Blame him or her, and do not forgive and do not forget. I don't know. Everything but the last sentence seems to be like a positive message for that one. And the blame him or her and do not forgive and do not forget. I don't know. You know, maybe people can make amends and you can forgive them. I am one of those never forget people, but that difference between forgiving and forgetting, I think we need to explore that. And forgiveness is not just about giving somebody else another chance. It's about letting go of the feelings that you hold against someone. You know, it's as much about you as it is about them. So I don't know about never forgiving. Okay. Next one from Brian J. 1962. I'm sorry. Did I just hear? If you feel entitled to an apology, apply below, and I'll examine each request on merit. That's a very crass and summarized way of putting it, but I'm going to say you're kind of pissed off at me right now, so I'm just going to go with your explanation of what I said, even though the video was kind of short anyway. The next sentence is, if any apologies are ever pertinent, then I consider those with onus to make them should be capable of recognizing such need within themselves without coaching. See, here's my problem with that. Just examining that statement. We've got a whole bunch of people running around in the world, not just here on YouTube, but I'm going to say specifically here on YouTube, where they claim to have examined themselves, and I'm going to take them at their face that they have examined themselves and what they have done, and they don't feel like they've done anything wrong. So we've got a whole bunch of people who aren't apologizing to each other, you know, because they did some examination. They didn't see what's wrong. You know, communication between people helps people to figure out how the other person feels, how you made them feel, you know. Brian, you don't have time for drama. Go back to programming. Next one is from Fatal Error Network. That would be Ashes the Raven. And he was commenting to Brian, In short, only a vlogger with little sociopathic tendencies would require an explanation and claim the judgment of merit over the internet. You should have used a different word than little, and I'm just wondering, on what authority are you diagnosing sociopathy? Yeah. Anyways, next sentence. It amazes me AOD misses the irony in his video, but somehow I doubt it. Just another I has da power game by AOD. Move along, people. Like, there's nothing to see on my videos. Irony in that statement from Ash, in that Ash doesn't like to be bothered by drama, and I just stopped any form of bothering him with drama, even though it was other people bringing him into the drama and him, allowing himself to be sucked in. In my opinion, anyone who doesn't want to be part of the drama of anything can just say, I don't want to hear it, and goodbye. But some people started listening to some drama, and I think, if you are in a place where you need to get something done, you're the one that needs to move along. But, with regards the Fatal Error Network project that was just recent, I did feel some regret about possibly slowing down the alpha, but after seeing Ash's comments on the video where I announced that I was flagged on YouTube, and I remembered the reason why the Fatal Error Network was there, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not sorry, because I think people need to really think about why they're doing what they're doing. I think we've lost our way a bit when someone gets flagged and Ash is screaming at me, because I remember him having a lot of trouble with flags. And really, I don't remember bringing my drama to Ash or Brian or Death of Speech. I remember using the Fatal Error Network very slightly, but very powerfully, and the people that brought the drama to them were the ones who wanted it down, the ones who were in Skype calls with Brian, and Lord knows whoever. There might have been a whole Agent of Doubt, I hate him party. But I kept on replying to people, hey, I can talk to you about this after your alpha is over. So, you know what? If you didn't say, I don't want to hear it, goodbye, to some other people, I think, yeah, this move along people is something that a lot of people can stand to learn from. Move along people. We need to tell people this, and we need to do it ourselves. But Ash and Death of Speech and Brian, I'm not angry at any of those people, and they don't have to respond to this. They can move along. They can just go program and come back when programming is done, and we can all have a beer. Let's see. Well, this is a Ramble video. It's going to last an hour. I'll say one more thing on that subject. I heard that the open alpha is over because of Agent of Doubt, and I think that is childish, because it is possible in the alpha phase to just eliminate me, if I'm the problem, and not try to put some burden on my shoulders of, it's all your fault that it's not open to everyone. No. Somebody else made that decision. you know? And if the decision was to remove me because of my actions, that's fine. But if you're going to tack on an after the fact and everyone else has it ruined because of you, that's, you know, I don't even feel it. My shoulders are even big enough to bear that, and whatever. If adding more people besides me is going to help you with your alpha, then maybe you should think about doing whatever it is that's going to get your alpha going. And in that, I will say that if they felt that I was the reason, that I was the problem, I accept that they don't want me as a part of whatever right now, you know? Next comment, finally. Violently Graceful says, Fitch slap. Just, no question, just the word fitch slap. And I'm going to say, I've already made a Ramble video about that. And actually 2. And in one of them, I doc dropped a whole bunch of my sock accounts for people to know. Most of which are listed on my channel page. But, yeah, things that I've said before about that are the same. And si ego certiorum facium mihi tu delendis eris, I believe. And it's not my responsibility to out anyone else in the world. This was a video about apologizing for myself and yeah, not causing more drama or whatnot. Let's see. Doc dropping Aldous Valor, period. Recently I have had a change of heart on that. In that I am going to just say that I was evil and I doc dropped Aldous Valor. I knew what I was doing. Even though he had doc dropped himself, and all of the information I used was already out there, I collected it and put it in a form that people could use against him. And even though the information was out there, I'm going to call it doc dropping because of the way that I used it. It was a silly prank, but telling people to send him texts on his phone was doc dropping. It was. I'm not going to apologize for the act of the doc dropping. I did that intentionally, but I do have an apology for Aldous Valor, in that I used the excuse of the information was already out there. And recently, this has actually happened to me, where the information that I put out there openly, even on this channel, on my channel page, and in other places, the column that I write on the Examiner and all that, I put other information out there, right? And somebody collected it all and used it in a way that they wanted to have a prank or something happen to me, And even if it was bad stuff, I'm sure it was just in jest. But I have come to the realization that that person using the argument that the information was already out there, so then it's not doc dropping, that is like saying that rape victim deserves her rape because she was dressed like a floozy. So, because I had it happen to me, I have had the opportunity to think about all of the rationalizations of somebody who's dock dropping me, and I now know that in the past, when I did it to Aldous Valor, it was wrong of me to tell him he deserved it because he was asking for it by dressing that way. You know? So I apologize for using that whole mentality of he was asking for it to defend myself, even though I intentionally did it. And I'm owning up to that. I'm sorry for using that faulty logic, mostly because it's aggravating. When you're on the other end of it, I now understand it's fucking aggravating. Next line from Violently Graceful. Claiming that T-Master 1978 smokes crushed pills and predicting that he will be dead in a few years. Let's see. Everybody take a look right there. See that terabyte drive right there? It's right next to the stereo with all the stickers on it. And a nice sticker I made for it right there. That is the old terabyte drive. The new one's a lot smaller. New one is right here. They're making them smaller and smaller all the time. This is about the size of an old iPhone. Anyways, as far as claiming that T-Master 1978 smokes crushed pills, I have never seen this person crush pills and smoke them. I have a video of this person saying that he had in the past done that. And I can prove that. Not really wanting to start much drama with this person, but I can prove that. So, yeah. And the second part, predicting that he will be dead in a few years. That was my prediction at the time. It was probably very emotionally made, since I had a whole bunch of people with drug problems around me, and I was seeing patterns. Sometimes the patterns were there, sometimes they weren't. But I will say this, in T-Master 1978's defense, I have not spoken with him in over a year and a couple months. And I have no idea what he looks like, what he sounds like, anything. Alright? I made a response to a couple videos in that time that was a discourse between him and Fitch that kind of I might have pissed in their pool, but I have not had any interaction really with him in very long, so I don't know whether he will be dead in a few years. A lot can happen in a year and a few months. Yeah, I hope that his life just turns around and any problems that I might have had with him aren't problems for him going forward. You know, he can have a good life off in wherever the fuck he is now. Let's see. Next, Violently Graceful said, no apologies necessary, just explanations. Only the one apology for the thing with Aldous Valor happened. Anyways, next, Hatred 42 says, never apologize for an intentional act. You are a grown-ass man and knew what you were doing. Conversely, seeking forgiveness is pointless in my opinion. What is done. People will get over it or they will not. If they don't, that is their problem. I am apologizing for some intentional acts because sometimes they have unintentional consequences, you know? And sometimes you hurt people you don't mean to. Sometimes you hurt people and you meant to, and now you don't mean to. What's done is done. People will get over that. They not, or they will not. If they don't, that's their problem. Sometimes, if you have a conscience, other people not getting over it becomes your problem in a way. There's only so much you can do. You're right about that. Your name is Hatred42, right? And it's a play on 42 being, the answer to everything. So it's like hatred is the answer for everything. I'm going to say no. When you hate someone, there's two kinds of people in this world that you are hating. There's the people who don't know that you hate them or why you hate them. Right? And then there's the people who don't care that you hate them or why you hate them. Right? Maybe Hatred42 is an irony that I haven't fully explored yet with my good buddy. Emperor Kang says, apologize to the Phantom Lion, bitch. And Ashley Dakota says, yes, you do owe Phantom Lion an apology. Not gonna happen. I've been flagged on multiple fronts. And seriously, I want you guys to look at any video that you got some kind of feeling like that from that might have the word drama in brackets. I try to help people out in that way. If it has to do with the Phantom Lion or Aldous Valor or any number of people that are characters on YouTube, you should fucking take it with a grain of salt. Let's see. Okuma Zero Kuma he says, I'm sorry for not being more selfish, fuck you all. I think that he wants me to say that. And I'm trying. Trying to be selfish. I tried to make this an apology type meme tag that it's failed in that no one wants to pick it up because no one's brave enough. And also it's failed in what it's devolved into. Let's see. I'm going to skip the conversation with Lazoyo. He just wanted to know if I was being legit with this whole thing. Gluteus Illuminatus, he says, how about an apology for turning New Amsterdam into New York? If only we still ran the show, then there'd be weed and prostitutes for everyone. It would truly be the greatest nation in the world. I wonder if the joke about the greatest nation in the world being urination works in Dutch. But, first of all, it wasn't my fault. I didn't change New Amsterdam into New York. I've never been to New York. If you want weed, you could become a citizen of Colorado and vote for Amendment 64, where it'll be legal for 21 and over if it passes. And as far as prostitution, bring a camera and tell them that you want them to model nude for you. Because then it's nude modeling, or you're doing pornography. Get a business license. It costs a little bit more, but it's worth it because it's a legal loophole that I think is wonderful. Rob Lester says, LOL, well said to Glute. 10 Phoenix 01, who I guess now has a backup channel of Marty McFly and calls me another McFly. He says, I think you need to address the temporal problems you created in the last trip you made in the DeLorean, Beardy McFly. If I had a time machine, videos like this wouldn't be fucking necessary, because as soon as you made them, you'd go back and change whatever it was, to make the best possible solution out of everything. So, yeah, I don't even have a fucking DeLorean. Felita the Geek says, I do think we all deserve an apology for being subjected to your incredibly annoying alarm clock while you were gone from the room. That was probably the worst sin you've ever committed. I do apologize for that. I think I did when it happened. It was rude. I left the Skype call going in my room, and I went to take a shower, and my phone was right next to my microphone, and it went off. What happened was I woke up a little early for an appointment, and I decided to get in the Skype call to try to wake myself up. And then I was like, well, I might as well just take my shower right now and laze through the morning. I forgot. And I left the phone right next to the microphone. And it went off. And my alarm is like a chemical alarm plus a rooster crowing. And it's horrible. And I can imagine if anyone had headphones, I really fucked with them. That's probably the worst sin you've ever committed. I'm just going to go with the word sin, even though I don't believe in the concept. But the worst thing that I've ever done is something that I've never talked about on YouTube in thousands of videos on multiple channels. If you say, what's the worst thing you've ever done? When it pops into my head, it's something that I would never say on the internet, because I do feel that badly about it. Let's see. Rob Lester, who has just subscribed to me with his XXXXXX the Riddler XXXXXXXXX. I'm thinking that that's Rob Lester. If it's not, then somebody else who looks like him sub me, because there's like 100 different Rob Lester channels. Rob Lester says, anyone who does not look at themselves is a fool. However, to whom must we give our apology? Musts must have meaning. Without it, it would be just words. Yeah. And I think that goes along with what Hatred 42 and Brian were trying to get at. If you did something intentionally, just saying I'm sorry in order to get people to forgive you is not meaningful, really, at all. And we used to live in a society where it was considered meaningful in some sort of magical sense, but especially in our community, we can see the futility of it. And yeah, I had another comment that I didn't print out because it was on another video, but it was from Ashes the Raven, and he said that I was only doing this apology video for attention. And looking at that and examining it on its merit, I'm here on YouTube, and every video I do, I want 1 million people to see. Yes, I want attention as far as people watching my videos. Don't really want any of Ash's attention right now. Him and Death and Brian can go do their programming thing and let me know when they're done. They really do want a break. They've said that a whole bunch of times, so they should go program. But yeah, the few apologies that I've done, beyond explanation, so far in this video, were not things that I'm only doing to get attention. Whenever I do a Ramble video and put Ramble in brackets, I've said this before, that this is catharsis for me, you know? And that doesn't give it any other altruistic vibe to it. It's still a selfish thing, but it is a different reason than getting attention. It's a release of things for me, you know? Does that make it any better for Ash? I don't know. That I counter his saying that I have a selfish reason for doing this with a selfish reason for doing this that's bigger in my eyes. I don't think that makes it any better. But I don't know. Maybe it makes me more or less human. Now, I did have a video response from Inventor Gorilla. Some of you know that I stopped responding to Inventor Gorilla, and I'll get to that because I had to watch his video and take notes because he had some questions in it. And this was open to everyone, and he made a point that resonated in my ear because, yeah, there have been other things that have been open to everyone, and all of a sudden were exclusive based on, you know, somebody feeling like they couldn't handle it. And I was like, you know what? I can handle it, whatever it is in his video. And I made the decision beforehand when I said it was open to everyone that whatever came along, I can handle it. So I can handle it. Here we go. Inventor Gorilla says that sincere apologies only come from introspection. If people have to point it out, you haven't learned anything. I disagree. And I would say I can even back that up with case study and scientific papers that can show that even when people have to cheat off other people during a test, they learn the answers to the questions from cheating. Sometimes when people ask for help, they learn from that, and then they are able to do things on their own from then on. And they don't need that help anymore to realize what their problem was. And if you don't think anyone ever genuinely asks for help as far as hey, could you guys tell me something that I've done wrong? Then maybe you don't understand the fundamental values of forgiveness and redemption that are part of the Christian faith. Just saying. Let's see. He says, no apologies. You just want an exhaustive explanation. And I don't know how exhaustive I'm going to get here, but I'm going to say if I'm not exhaustive, you can feel free to replay it and see exactly what I'm saying here. Right? Because sometimes I'm succinct and to the point and go for the jugular. Why? Let's see. Why is Inventor Gorilla a failure? Now, immediately when I said those words the first time I did, long time ago, Inventor Gorilla started adding context to that, which did not help him understand what I was saying by that. This explanation that I will give, I would like Inventor Gorilla to go back to whatever place that he saw me saying it and insert this explanation there, as well as right now. Like, this is what I mean right now, but this is also what I meant back then, and it just so happens that I stopped talking to Inventor Gorilla, and I didn't feel like breaking my silence in order to explain this. But the reason why I declared Inventor Gorilla a failure was a cycle of teaching Inventor Gorilla things only to have him forget what he was taught and start using the same apologetics arguments on YouTube to piss people off. Now, again, I've got this entire terabyte right here full of people's videos and stuff, right? And stuff. And I can tell you, in particular, Inventor Gorilla's videos that all had the words, "Hey Atheists" in them that spanned, like, over a fucking year, you can see that in those videos, plus the responses to them, he was taught and retaught the same concepts, and I feel that there comes a point when someone is taught a concept and has to make that decision. Do I want to go with reason and logic, or do I want to hide with comfort and go back to what I was thinking? Because if I take that next step, it's a scary place where I don't have the security blanket that I had before in the way that I was thinking. So, in my estimation, Inventor Gorilla is a failure because he had been given every tool necessary to become a rational fucking human being, and then went right back to spewing irrational bullshit that he had been corrected on time and again. All he's got to do to prove this is unprivate his entire back catalog of videos that are on his channel, and you guys can go search for specific videos like the Hey Atheist series, but there's plenty of videos where you would see that there are video responses made to them where he was taught, and then later on he'll make the same fucking video. And then later on he'll complain that Bionic Dance makes the same video all the time. That is why I declared him a failure. I was very close to the cause of teaching Inventor Gorilla here on YouTube, and to see him, of all people, get all the way up to that graduation platform and then decide to fucking shoot himself in the head and go back into stupidity and pretend like he had not been taught all of these things that he's asking people questions about now in his videos, I got fucking frustrated. And there's only so many times you can teach someone before you just call it a fucking failure. Alright? Everyone has got their limits. And luckily for him, other people can come along and pick up where other people decided to leave off. An explanation as to why I don't speak to Inventor Gorilla anymore. And he wants this exhaustive, and it's not going to be that exhaustive. It goes like this. Everybody do this with me. Think of a couple people who you can live without in your life and make that decision. Just go. You know, sometimes you feel like you've invested a lot of time in a relationship, right? And that you don't want to give up that investment of time. It's frustrating to lose it. But you have to take a look at yourself and cut yourself free of anything that's dragging you back. Okay? Anything that's slowing you down. If you have something to do, you need to shut out the whole world that is interrupting you, and you need to fucking do it. Alright? That's why I don't talk to Inventor Gorilla. I made the life decision that my life would be better off if I did not talk to Inventor Gorilla. I've made this decision before with other people. I think it's a healthy decision to make with a lot of people, and a lot of people don't do it. You know, I understand that it can be frustrating to cut your losses. You know, sometimes you look at the amount of time you invested in someone as being the size of the friendship. I'm saying, look at where you want to go, look at who you want to be, and if something is holding you back, fucking cut ties with it. Alright? That's the whole exhaustive reason. Okay. Now there's a little bit more meat in here because Inventor Gorilla goes into the whole fair use thing and ponage and all that. Understandably, he doesn't like ponage because he's been the butt end of a lot of it. But here we go. He says that there's no commentary in some videos. I'm going to say bullshit. There's a whole bunch of writing all over it, and it's just a type of commentary that you yourself aren't accepting because you are using a... Well, let's say it's the no true Scotsman of fair use. It's, let's see, he says... Accusations and slander aren't commentary. Bullshit. If something is slander, it can be charged as slander, yeah, but it's actually fair use in that it can't be pulled down as being against fair use because it has commentary. The context of that commentary is completely different than the fair use aspect of it. Let's see. Commentary is something done in a way which Inventor Gorilla can't argue with it. Now, somebody's going to... Inventor Gorilla is going to say that I'm twisting his words there. I want you to look at what he says in his video from 4 minutes 20 seconds to 4 minutes 32 seconds. This would be where you pause. And this would be where you restart my video. When I rephrase it so that you can understand what he's saying, and I do twist his words around, you will still see the point when I say commentary is something done in a way in which Inventor Gorilla can't argue with it. What the fuck? A lot of people don't agree with the parodies or criticisms of themselves. Alright? He also says ponage or troll videos are not commentary. They meet all of the qualifications to be commentary. Okay? The qualifications to be commentary are completely different than what slander is, or libel is, or... I think Inventor Gorilla, in all of his time here on YouTube, has come to some special conclusion about what commentary can be. You guys could see the one time that I felt that somebody wasn't putting enough words in a video of mine, that they took a clip of my video and just added subtitles to say what the people were saying, right? And then they put their own website on the end of it. And I gave a DMCA claim to it because I felt that that was my property and they didn't put any commentary in it. And guess what? YouTube fucking reinstated it. You know? And the line where I drew is far light years ahead as far as progressiveness from Inventor Gorilla's. If I don't agree with what you said about me, it's not commentary. If I don't see your face, it's not commentary. If I only see words and no voice in my ear, it's not commentary. All of that is bullshit, Inventor Gorilla. And I'm not sorry for anything you've suffered in that way. Explain the necessity of Ponage All-Stars. I have exhaustively before. I could do it again. People get flagged for ponage videos, and because YouTube's system is so easy to abuse, when people get butt hurt because they don't consider it commentary or criticism or fair use, when they're being criticized, they don't consider it criticism. Because of that, and people getting flags on their channels, that channel and a whole bunch of others arose in order to host videos so that that video would take the hit and not people's main channels that they were building all their subscriber bases on. Next, Inventor Gorilla says, if you are too ashamed to say anything in public, then you don't have the right to say it. I'm going to disagree again. There are many different circumstances where it is better for people to not allow a venue for a backblast on them, for people to, not like the message and then go attack them. Sometimes it's better to just have the message there so that people can only attack the message. Alright? It kind of removes the possibility of an ad hom attack when you don't have a hom. Let's see. Using our identity as our credentials is a better way of expressing ourselves. I'm going to say it can be, but 99.9% of the time, it isn't the best way of expressing yourself. The best way is using logic and reason. Okay? And just relying on, I am this person and I'm going to argue from authority because I said that I'm this person. That can actually work. It can be good when it does work. It can. But I'm going to say, if the message was ignored because you were butthurt about the message and so you wanted to attack the people behind it, I think your time would have been better spent rebutting the message. Because that's all there was to it. There was no people behind it. It could have been even easier for you to just deconstruct the message and not have to worry about launching an ad hom attack at people. And you closed your video with, please explain why Inventor Gorilla is a failure. And I think I've already done that. If you want me to go further into it, fuck off. Kinda tired of teaching Inventor Gorilla. But, let's see, when was this posted? 2 days ago. And then 1 day ago, I make a video that was about the Phantom Lion. Also, with drama in brackets. And Inventor Gorilla leaves me a comment. And it goes, "It's no wonder why people think that you're a jerk. You think so highly of yourself, but your actions are the same as a teenage girl. You create dramas, troll the religious, and your content is crap. You have nothing to offer this community anymore, and I think you know it. So you attack Phantom? What are you, a coward? Or what a coward you are. If you want drama, if you have the balls to troll someone who is willing to go toe-to-toe. But when I went toe-to-toe, you ran away like a coward. I am not going away. Count on it." I'm going to say you didn't go toe-to-toe, and there was a video by Aldous Valor, like the Commonwealth of YouTube versus Agent of Doubt, that there were actually some valid points in it. But when it got to the point where he said the words, and Inventor Gorilla asked you nicely, I had a chuckle. That was fucking hilarious. Going toe-to-toe is not threatening legal action against someone if they don't take down their videos. You're going to say that I have run away like a coward. I just addressed everything in your video plus this comment plus some others. And I'm going to say cutting ties with things that are holding me back is not being a coward. It's actually having the courage to look at all of what I've invested in something and make that decision to cut bait. And a lot of people don't understand what cutting bait is. You know, you put a lot of effort into putting a worm on a hook and you throw it in the water, you know. And sometimes you catch a log or you catch a fish that you just can't reel in or whatnot. And sometimes you have to make that decision to cut your line, you know. You can't stay there for hours. There's plenty of other fish to catch. Maybe it's time for you to pack it in, whatnot. It's a fishing analogy. Cutting bait. All of the time you invested in that action, you're just saying, you know, it's more advantageous to me to put another worm on another hook and throw it out somewhere else. It's not being a coward. It's making a decision and being brave enough to discard all of your previous effort that you've put into something. You know, for your own betterment. He also says, "I'm not going away, count on it." And when I read that, I was like, you know what? I haven't been talking to Inventor Gorilla, and he has made a couple videos about me. He has commented on a whole bunch of videos. I thought about Aldous Valor saying that you win if you can make one video about someone and they have to make 10 back to you. There's this like ratio game where you taunt them once and they make 10 back to you, and there's a ratio, and I feel like I'm winning that game when I hear that Inventor Gorilla is going to go away or not going to go away, and I can count on that. That means that I can put all of my effort into fishing elsewhere and doing other productive things, and Inventor Gorilla will still be there because he's not going away. So I don't have to put any more effort into this. I can go do better things. So yeah, that is the entire recap of everything, pretty much. If anyone, besides Inventor Gorilla, if anyone needs more, they can feel free to call me on Skype. I'm going to say that the tag itself, at this point, 3 days later, is a fucking failure because no one did it. And I used to be able to get, like, 2 or 3 people to do a tag, but I didn't tag anyone specifically, and I really feel like the reason why I didn't get any people jumping in on this one is because they probably felt like it was part of the whole drama with people that I am now going to cut bait on. Because there's a lot of things that I do that I feel that are not getting as much attention as they would have if I had not taken the time out of the more productive things on my channel and put it into drama. It really does erode your credibility in the community. And I think I'm going to work towards more credible things. And maybe one day somebody will see this concept, and maybe they don't want to go off my tag. Maybe they'll find some merit to it and adapt it for themselves. But yeah, there's definitely a line that I think you guys will be seeing on my channels, where from this ramble on, I think you're going to see a bit better output. Inventor Gorilla says in this comment, you create dramas, troll the religious, and your content is crap. In my opinion, since last October, my content actually has increased in quality 100 times over, but my viewership has decreased. And you have to really search yourself and say, well, do I want to make drama videos and get more view count? Or do I want to actually put up, intellectual content and have half the people watch it? Which is going to make me happier? And I think I've made my decision. Till next time, I do plan on keeping the Ramble format. Probably not more than weekly on this channel, but yeah, people who are playing World of Warcraft, find another video now because the Ramble's over.